Hi, my name's Alvin Steele with Super Tech Refrigeration. We were out here earlier this week to work on one of the we're out here at the Air Force Dobman Base in the Air Force Dobman Base. Hi, this is Alvin Steele with Super Tech Refrigeration. We're out here at the Air Force Dobman Base up in Marietta, Georgia. And we were out here earlier this week to look at one of the coolers, and we're pretty much just going to show you everything that happened and everything that went down. Come with us and see what we can show you. We saw something very, very extraordinary, something very extreme, and kind of only happens with older units over time due to, lack of preventative maintenance, lack of care, just over time of, the unit going on and on. This bad boy right here is the cooler. Checking to make sure there's no beehives in there. I went to a location yesterday. There was hella bees there, hornets. There was a hornet in there last time. So we came out here, saw that the unit was going off on low pressure. There was a fan cycle control switch on here. And when we saw it, we were wondering what was going on. And we noticed that the compressor wasn't running. So we came out to check out and look at the compressor and saw that the compressor terminal was bulged out. So we cut off the unit via the disconnect, took a peek over the unit, and as we took off the compressor boot, we ended up noticing that the common terminal peg blew out of the compressor, allowing all my refrigerant to escape. With that, we took off everything, written up everything, and let them know what was going on. You can see the oil stain down here at the end at the bottom. You can see the oil stain down at the bottom of the compressor where all the oil and everything end up leaking down and leaking through due to the compressor blowing out and causing a leakage. Right now, the unit is on. We're gonna put some electrical tape and everything on the unit to secure it, to secure the wirings and everything of that nature. This right here is actually has power to it. The disconnect is on. So what we're gonna do is take off all the parts that we have, secure this, and then yeah, we're gonna go inside and disconnect the fan power. The reason why we're putting electrical tape on the boot, even though it has a dog hood on it, is just because it's open and it's out and exposed. We don't want it to accidentally get blown over due to high winds, touch anything that could be copper, make connections, spark out, anything of that nature. It wouldn't do that anyways due to the low pressure switch, not having enough pressure to even pull in the contactor for it to even run. But at the same time, and if it did, you would see the condenser fan motor going to. But it doesn't even have enough pressure in it to even want to run the unit or even energize the unit. So it won't even turn on via the compressor boot, which I could show power. There's no power to that boot. But at the same time, it's just out of safety. We don't want anything to happen that's out of safety regulations. I actually forgot my keys. They're over there. Hamboni. Hamboni will save your life one day.
Hamboning. Hamboning will save your life someday. It'll be all like, what? You trying to mug me?
The cameraman is not impressed or enthused by my hamboning. So I gotta turn it up a notch.
Fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that? That looked like some gorilla shit, I'm not gonna lie. All right, and then we're gonna take this with us. Taking off components like this, you should really use 2 wrenches so you don't bend, move, crack, or do anything that would cause it to damage. This right here would be a T. But this right here, it has a depressor on it, has a Schrader valve on it. What is this called? I cannot think of it. It has a fan cycle control, and I know every other part, but I can't think of the actual name of this little component, this little depressor. Refrigeration valve. There it goes, whatever. This little refrigeration valve connected to my King valve had some leak lock on it so it wouldn't lose pressure over time, and it had an opening right here so you could put a gauge on it. But like I said, when the compressor blew out, it didn't really matter anyways if this was on here or not. So we're gonna take this for any customer that could need it in the near future or anything like that, you know. Well, we like how they do up in China and other countries and stuff like that. We're gonna take its organs and put it to somebody that actually needs it. Organ donors for the world. We're gonna have this cooler right here, the cooler condensing unit replaced via crane. We have a crane come overhead, drop a cable, come grab this unit, disconnect the lines, and hoist it up in the air and take it off to Neverland. And then we're gonna have another unit placed right inside this hole, connect the lines, and then go from there. Once we take care of that, the unit would have a new condensing unit, and then also if we can, we might try to repipe them some brand new line set, due to the fact this line set's old, could have leaks and everything of that nature. So if they let us redo this, bro, a nice ass video of us taking all this apart and then redoing, like house remodeling. Because if this is where the cooler is, yeah, I could just take this from right here. I cut all this off, put this back up here against the wall, tack that in, and run it straight through it. Oh yeah, so bet. Now I'm really excited. Yeah, this bitch about to look beautiful. Yeah. You're recording? Now I'm finna turn this to like house remodeling. And like my boy Rex Splode, King rest in peace. Like, I love me some house remodeling, magazine style. All right, so we're about to go inside and go disconnect the fans and everything for the customer. They said that the fans, leaving it on, we tried to turn it off via the breaker, but it turns off the entire lights to the whole entire system. So with that, we're probably gonna have to get an electrician out here to make it 2 dedicated breakers, because that's not gonna work in the future. Sorry. No, it's just. No, all the ghost prints on the ground. So we came in here trying to turn off power to the evaporator, but we can't really find a wire diagram anywhere. If you come back here, so the reason why we're condemning this unit is look at this evaporator first. This evaporator is super dirty. The coils are rusted and they're falling apart. In the case that it just hasn't been treated, you see it has holes in it, it's chipping, and if we went to clean it, it would chip even worse. It's a dead coil. So with that, due to it being R22 and being old, it needs to be replaced anyways. Because honest to God, it's not responsible to let your customer keep putting money into a unit that keeps going down every other month, every other month, every other month, due to reoccurring issues that are different from the last issue. When you could get them a unit that would not cause them issues, work long term, work all the time, come with warranties, be up to date, EPA certified and everything else, and then give you a better reputation over time. Because like I said, we're really not here to take your money. We're here to make your day better, because why call any tech when you call Super Tech? All right, so when turning off the fans, right now I'm trying to checking around to see where I can find a wire diagram. But because I'm smart enough to really understand how units work, this unit works via thermostat and solenoid. A solenoid and thermostat is a loader and a switch, so that's the only thing that can be a circuit, which goes back to neutral. So with these 2 wires right here, so right now what I was gonna do is take apart this wire, because I thought this wire right here went to my fan motors, which I am currently wrong. Did not know that. The reason why I do know it doesn't go there is because this solenoid right here is a liquid-line solenoid, and it's a load which follows behind the switch. When that switch closes, this load gets power, sends back to neutral, the refrigerant flows through. When that switch opens, this load valve closes, and it goes down to a pump down. So if I take that apart, I'll only be taking apart my solenoid. What I need to be taking apart is this black wire, which I figured goes to my evaporator motors, so that I can get power. So now that I'm going to see where power comes into this conduit, it looks like, feeds off of this wire and comes over here. And if I take this apart, I should lose power to everything. Now, I want to reconnect power back to my lights because I don't know if I turned off the power into my freezer, which I did. Because my freezer lights are for some reason connected in one circuit. This is all one big series circuit for some reason. So with that, while everything is still live, yes. What? Okay, so we're gonna get some wire nuts and everything so we don't accidentally short any shit due to this thing keeps slipping back on me wanting to short against everything. So, like Willy Wonka, I pop one out. And nothing else has power to it, so if any other wire touches anything, it doesn't really matter. And that's why we have electrical tape. With that, we're also gonna just secure this wiring because we don't want no problems in the future of it popping apart. And in this case, because this is condemned and everything like that, we're just gonna pop everything back together so that the customer can at least have some peace of mind. And then these two wires right here, like I said, they touch them, no power to them. I can touch this one, no power to it. But we're gonna cover them up anyways because it's good practice. Everything's in my face. I'm back at the Diddy party. You like to, sometimes you just drop the pan a little bit. To drop this pan a little bit makes this a lot easier to slide on. My eyes. My eyes! I was trying to sponsor Klein Tools and I got dirt in my eyes. Dropping the pan makes this super easy to put back on. Because now I don't have to worry about fighting my pan just as much as I have to worry about fighting everything else to get a little cover back on. But that's fair. That's it, guys.
Hi, I'm Paul.